Former President Donald Trump is on the hook for over $350 million following his New York civil fraud case. And just last month, a federal jury found Trump guilty of defaming Carroll, a judgment that will cost him another $83 million. Here to break it all down and what the string of losses means for former President Trump, we want to bring Yahoo Finance reporter Rick Newman. Rick, he's being held accountable. Does it matter, though, with his base?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to the base, but I think it matters for the rest of us. Everybody remembers when Trump said, I think he said this in 2015, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I would not suffer any consequences. The important thing to notice here is Trump is suffering consequences, politically, legally, and in terms of his business. So, I just put together all the things that have gone wrong since he had this surprise victory and he won the presidency in 2016. Just to string them together. 2018, huge win for Democrats flipping the House. Record turnout for people voting against Trump. Trump loses the presidential election in 2020. He basically lost the Senate for Republicans by turning people against the two Republican candidates down there. He was a negative factor for Republicans in the 2022 midterm elections. And he's now lost three important court cases. Last year, or late 2022, his company lost a case. Then he lost the defamation case against Carroll, and now he just lost the civil fraud case. He's facing, like $500 million in penalties. And I keep hearing, I point this out in a story, and I keep hearing from Trump supporters, oh, but they're all going to get overturned on appeal. But these are the same people who said this case would get thrown out of court in the first place. Then he would win these cases, and now they're saying it's going to get thrown on appeal. Trump is a loser. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in 2024. He could win in 24, but everybody remembers Trump said so much winning. Well, it's a lot of losing.
Have these losses actually showed up in the polls thus far? Do we know?
I think they have. First of all, remember, Trump lost in 2020, so that was the biggest poll of all.
Right.
There's this big discrepancy because he obviously is dominating the Republican Party, but he seems to be less popular than he was among the general public in 2020 because we've now had the 2021 riots at the U.S. Capitol and all these legal cases and lawsuits against him, which are still piling up. And we haven't even gotten to any of the 4 criminal lawsuits he's facing.
Right.
So, there's a really important thing that pops up in polls, which is there are some people who say, I generally support Trump, but if he were to be convicted of a crime, I might not support him. And it does look like we're going to have at least one of these cases that's going to happen in New York City starting in late March. So it looks like we will have at least one outcome in one of these criminal cases. Now, obviously, he's running against Joe Biden, who is also a weak candidate. So this does not mean Trump is doomed in the 2024 election. But man, is he vulnerable.
Well, according to some sneakerheads out there, he should be convicted of a crime for putting out the T-Red Wave gold sneaker that he tried to take to a sneaker convention in Philadelphia.
You seem like you take personal offense.
Rick, thanks so much for joining us here on set.
The resident sneakerhead.
We all have shoes.